Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Gauri ma'am. Good morning, Hafeez sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I don't let myself be crippled by rules. I let the requirements govern the way I approach a project. A very warm good morning, everyone. With that powerful quote by none other than our guest today, we welcome you to this inspiring session of Creative Pursuits. I'm Hinashi Pathar, and I'm honored to be your host for this very special webinar. On behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional Universities, School of Architecture, Urban Development and Planning, I warmly welcome our distinguished guest, Architect Hafeez Contractor, our respected faculty members, students, and all those who are present with us. Today promises to be a celebration of bold ideas, imaginative journeys, and architectural passion. We are truly honored today to welcome Architect Hafeez Contractor, a visionary whose work has profoundly shaped India's architectural landscape. Born in Mumbai in June 1950, he pursued his architectural education at Sir J. College of Architecture and later completed his master's at Columbia University. Launching his career under his uncle's guidance in 1968 and establishing his own practice in 1982, he has since designed iconic structures such as the Imperial Twin Towers in Mumbai, the 42 in Kolkata, the domestic terminal at Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport, the D.Y. Patil Stadium, and even the 23 Marina in Dubai. In 2016, he was honored with the prestigious Padmabhushan for his outstanding contribution to Indian architecture. With over 7,000 projects and a firm that's now India's largest architectural practice, his work reflects a daring yet deeply contextual design ethos. And now, to formally welcome Architect Hafeez Contractor to our webinar, I invite our director, Dr. Gauri Shirulkar, to say a few words. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good morning to all of you, and a special and a very warm welcome uh, to our dear Hafeez sir. On behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, on behalf of our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. S.B. Muzumdar sir, and our Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Swati Muzumdar madam, I extend a very warm welcome to you. We are honored to have you here on this platform because right now the students are all off to their internships, 2 month summer internships. We are hosting this webinar in an online mode, in a webinar manner, but we would really look forward to you being here on campus and host you on the campus soon when the students are back. We are really looking forward, all of us are looking forward to listen to your exemplary journey from a student of architecture, from being a student of architecture to reaching this status where you are shaping, you have already shaped the skyline of India. And we are really looking forward to listen to your golden words, sir. So thank you so much for accepting my invitation and being here with all of us today. Thank you very much once again. Hina, you can continue.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words. And now, let's begin the most awaited part of today's session, our interactive dialogue with Architect Hafeez Contractor. Today's conversation will follow a question and answer format where I'll be speaking with Hafeez sir about his remarkable journey in architecture, from his student years to becoming one of the most recognized architects of our time. As we move through the discussion, sir will also walk us through selected projects that illustrate his ideas, breakthroughs, and design thinking. So without further ado, let's dive into the first question. Let's go back to the very beginning. Sir, what was the moment or experience that first inspired you to pursue a career in architecture? And how has that initial spark influenced the way you have approached your work over the years? Along with that, I would also like to ask, when you were a student, did you already know what kind of architect you wanted to be? Or did that clarity evolve through the experiences and challenges of your practice?
Okay. Madam, thank you very much for all your good words. Uh, I just would like to make only one correction that I did my architectural, studies, at Academy of Architecture and not JJ School of Architecture. That's the only thing. And thank you very much for all the other good words. Okay, now how it all started. I, being the only one, the only son, or only kid with my mother. I was a spoiled child, so I was put in a boarding school. And in a boarding school, 90% of the time, I used to be playing and making, all kind of things. But my favorite pastime was drawings, and I used to draw. But my drawings were, I used to draw buildings. I used to draw, bikes, guns, tanks, and not knowing exactly. And I used to draw the construction also of a gun, and I would say, oh, my bullet, means my drawings were virtually like construction drawings. Okay, and so once I, passed out my SSC, as I said that, I was not a good student. So I got barely passing marks, and with NCC, I got 2% extra. And I was always interested. I had two options, that I wanted to be an architect or I wanted to join the army. And my cousin, who was already an architect, and his father once told me that, oh, your mother will never be able to bear the expenses of architectural education. So my thing was that I wanted to join the army. Now, I applied for the Khadakwasla, and there I got my letter. So I was invited over there for interview, or I don't know what. But my aunt tore off that letter. I was not told that my aunt has torn off my letter. And so I missed out on joining the army, and then I wanted to join the police force. So my mother requested me that rather than just joining the police force just like that, you first finish your graduation. So with a lot of influence, I got admitted into Jai Hind College, and there I had taken up German, because German everybody would start from beginning. But our German teacher died, and I had to take up French. Now I started taking French tuitions from my cousin, who was an architect, and his wife would teach me French in his office. So one day I went to his office. She was not there. My cousin was not there. But there was one senior architect drawing window detail. Now, today we just order windows, aluminum windows or whatever windows, and nobody draws the window detail. But in those days, windows were not available. We had to draw details. So I saw that, and I told that boy, he was a Gujarati boy. I told him that I barish hai. I mean, this is a window. He says, yes. So I said, but this window will not open. So he told me, what the hell do you know? It'll open. I said, no. So we took a bet. So when my cousin came, I told my cousin, and my cousin said that, yeah, this fellow is a fool, but how do you know? I said, this has been my pastime. I have, so he says, draw a window detail and show it to me. So I drew a window detail, though all my abbreviations and all that were different from what an architect would draw it. But my detailing was right. So he says, yeah, it is right. Then he asked me, can you design a two-bedroom, house? I used to design forts with 100 bedrooms. And, I have another friend called Beram Divecha. He's now in America. Then we used to play that I will attack you from here and you will attack me and my guns will be. So I said, yeah. And I designed that 2 or 3 bedroom house and gave it to him in 2 minutes. So then he drew a view from top. It is called an axonometric. At that time, I never knew that it's an X. So I said, yeah, this is a view from the top. He said, can you draw it? I drew it. So he told me that stop everything and join architecture today. But then I told him that, Baba, nobody is even giving me a form. And that time, the college that you said, JJ College, was not even giving me a form to apply for an admission. So then my cousin asked that boy, that which college did you go to? So he said, I am going to, Academy of Architecture. So that's the time I came to know that there is a college called Academy of Architecture. So with Temas, my cousin, called Dinyar. Dinyar is another cousin of mine who is now an architect practicing in New Canaan, Connecticut. He's got a very nice practice and he designs beautiful houses. You can go on his website and see it. Wadia and Associates. So Dinyar called Dallas, who was the head of the Indian Institute at that time. At that time, there was no Council of Architecture and all that. And Dallas gave me a beautiful letter addressed to Mr. Vandrekar, who was I think, the chairman of the Rachna Sansad or Academy of Architecture. With that letter, I went to Mr. Vandrekar, and Mr. Vandrekar sees the letter, sees my report, and says that, with your marks, I can't admit you. But Mr. Dallas has given this letter. And then he says, oh, your English is quite good, but you got only some 35 or 36 marks. And all these boys, they got 90 marks in English. I said, sir, theirs is a lower English, mine is a higher English. And with that, he says, okay, I'll allow you to take an entrance exam. If you get good marks in entrance exam, I will take you. Now, that's where I went for the entrance exam. I got an A+, and my journey in architectural college started. In the architectural college, this is my second year scheme when we had a competition and there was a exhibition in Rachna, Sansad, Rachna, art gallery. It was exhibited and I got the first prize. So what I'm trying to say that when I joined architectural college and I realized, oh, this is sciography. They call it sciography. And I used to say, I shadow. This is called a plan. This is called a section. None of those things I knew, technical words, but I was doing all of that day in and day out. And a boy who was standing last in a class in school, failing in, say, 7 or 8 subjects, passing only in art and science, started standing first in architectural college. Now, this is where I would really say, and I see it also in my office, a lot of students who have joined interior design colleges, and they are really brilliant guys. They are very, very creative, but they never got admission into architectural college. Now, that's where I would like to ask, are we allowing the right kind of students? You may have very, very good marks in all the other subjects, but you are not cowed out for architecture. So this is one thing which I would really I had so many friends in my college academy, and they were all brilliant guys. They would get the best marks, in mechanics and everything else. But when it comes to design, they are absolutely zero. And they would be taking my sketches, which I have discarded, and they will start working on it. Now, what has happened to those boys? They'll join some company, they'll join some Air Force, and smart guys, not fit for architecture. And it's not that to be a good architect, you have to be good at other things. Okay. So now I joined the college, and luckily it was a morning college. So I used to go to to the college, around about 7:30. We used to be having classes right up to about 9:30. And after that, I would be working in the office. This is Kharegad's office, where I'll be working from 10:30 to right up to about 11:30, 12 in the night every day. Up to 5 o'clock, I'll be working on all office work. And after 5 to 11:30, 12, I will be doing my homework, and that is how it all started. Now, I think, how I started and all of that is a different thing. But there are certain things that I have learned in my practice and when I worked with Kharegat. And I feel that these are the lessons that I would like to convey to all the upcoming architects and upcoming kids. What I have learned, if you can learn something from it, and that will really help you. So this is, there was a lady who I remember I was in my first year or something like that. And a lady had come from Pune, and she wanted us to design a house. And we were very, very happy to get that job, because at that time, nobody was making private residences. So we started, and she came after a week or so. We showed her the design. I remember my boss, and my cousin, we had made a house with walls, like how Le Corbusier had done those houses, in Ahmedabad. So it was done like that. And it was a very nice house. But the lady saw it, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Kharegat, I'm not looking like this kind of a house." And she was a very nice lady, polite, this, that. So, and she says something. And so we said, okay, we'll show you something else next week. And she said, okay, I'll come back again next week. Next week she came, and we showed him another very, very contemporary house. And she says, "Oh, I'm not looking at that kind of a house." And she opened her purse and took out a photograph of a Spanish, not, this is not the exact photograph, but I remember it was a Spanish design, a house somewhere in Spain with bougainvilleas and this kind of thing, all vines growing. And she said that, "Oh, I would love to have a house like that." To that, my boss said, "Oh, this is not what I do, or this is not, architecture. This is an old-fashioned house. I believe you should do a modern house." And the long and short of it is that she wanted an old Spanish villa, and we wanted to give her a modern villa or a modern house. And the lady very politely excused herself, and she left, and we lost her job. We lost the job, I started telling my cousin, why can we not do a Spanish villa? He said, "You're a stupid guy. You don't know what architecture is all about, and this and that and that." And she said, "We should not do that." But I could not say anything to my cousin, but it kept really pricking me that when somebody wants something and we are give him or her something else, is it right? And if I can design a good Spanish, why shouldn't I doing whatever work, and I worked with my cousin before I went to America for my further studies. Uh, um, Now, I applied for Tata Scholarship, and I was selected as a Tata Scholar. And with that Tata Scholarship, I went to Columbia. Mind you, I was a very, very hardworking student at the academy. When I used to present, all the other boys would be getting one per classroom to present their work. And I would come with my models, which are about 10 feet by 15 feet. My drawings would be 4 feet by 8 feet, and I would be making 100 drawings, where all other boys would be making 5 drawings. And I was that hardworking. Okay, when I went to Colombia, I was really taken aback. The amount of work that they expected us to do and the amount of work that they got us to do was tremendous. I could not take up that load. Anyway, I took up all that load. We did everything. And for one thing I learned from Columbia University, and which I will never forget, I used to be working in the class right up to about, say, 12:30 every day. One day, it was slightly, there was less work. So I finished by about 11:30 and went to my room. I used to be staying in a flat just outside the main gate. And when Kulli went to sleep, got up in the morning, and I'm coming to the class because there was no submission, nothing to be done. And when I reach my classroom, I suddenly see everybody running around. And I say, hey, what is happening? What is happening? He says, so Stan came last night at 11:30. Stan is our head of our program. I went for my urban design and architectural program. Okay. They say Stan came and has given a program at about 11:30, 12 in the night. He wrote it on the blackboard and said that the submission is tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning. I said, hey, what is this? This is not fair. I was here up to about 11:30, and he comes at about 12 something and writes a program and says that this is to be submitted. This is not fair. This is not fair. I kept on saying to myself. So I went to his chamber, which was just across the classroom. And I said, Stan, you came and wrote at something like 12 or something like that. And I just left. So he said, oh, Hafeez, don't worry. It's okay. So I said, thank you, Stan. He says, don't thank me. You get a 0 for this submission. So I said, why? So he told me one word or one line. He says, Hafeez, remember, in real life, there was a job going in the city. You are not there. You don't get the job. Now, that line is the first thing that, I would like every student to remember. First, the lesson is, I just told you, a client wants something. You want to give something. No. Think what client wants. Why? If he's wanting something wrong, teach him. The second thing is, there was a job going. You have to be there at the right place. So that's the second thing that I would like you to understand. Okay. After that, uh, I was working with. I came back from Colombia. I was working with my cousin, and our office was in Dalal Street and Meadow Street, where every evening lots and lots of brokers and everybody would be meeting and saying, oh, I have this plot and I have this plot. So, and I knew a lot of brokers, so they would come to me, and I will draw plans for all the brokers, so that when the broker goes to a prospective client, he can show and say that, oh, this plot we can do this or this and this. So that, so I started doing all of that. My thing has been help others, and in helping that, you will be helped also. And today, how guy comes and we have to go to a client and show him that this is what I can do, and the client will say, oh, you can do that, and that's how you will get work. Okay, so now one day when I was working with Kharegat, one of my very, very good friend, Kamal Hatkar, whose office was very well established, Hatkar and Associates, he called me up and says, oh, there is a new very good client in town, and he wants to make a nice building, but his present architect is not so good. So why don't you call him up and meet him? So I called him up. And I went, I remember it was, I think, Friday or something like that. I went and met him on the site. He was not there. I saw the site. The site was sloping. And when he came, and the client is a Sindhi client, and I could make out that I could make out that he definitely would be wanting a good building, but he'll be wanting a more profit also. So I told him that I'll make a nice design, this, and I'll give you more profit also. So he says, oh, but I don't have time, and I want to start my work. So I said that, see, today is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday, and day after is Sunday. I'm sure you're not going to do anything in this 2 or 3 days. He says, yes. When can you show me the design? I said, I'll show it to you on Monday. And he says, okay, Monday, 3 o'clock. I went running back to my office, told my boss that I have got this job. I must, though I had not got the full job, I had to prove it. I, on my own, at that time, there were no computers, nothing. My office, where I was working was a very small office. My boss, me, and I think there was one more person or something like that. But nobody wanted to help me because they thought that I'm just a foolish fellow just trying to get a job. Friday, the whole Friday, I sat, designed the whole thing. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and on Monday at 9:30, I sent all my drawings for her blueprints. That time there were only blueprints. Mind you, all plans done, all FSI calculations done, perspectives done. Those days we used to draw perspectives, freehand, there was no computers. Okay. Everything done. I go and show him the drawings at 3:30. I went home at 9 o'clock. Had my breakfast or whatever I'd done. Went to sleep. I told my mother, wake me up around about 1:30. I got up, had my bath, because for 3 days I had not had a bath. Okay. And showed the drawings to the client. The client loved it, and that was the first job I got. Okay. Now, mind you, the first job I got, or as destiny would have it, this job had to change my course of life. Well, and Temas, Zareen, and all of them, how Temas got me admitted into architectural college. Now, this Mr. Om Prakash and this Om Chambers had to change my another course. So one day, I used to go to this site very often to check the slab, everything. And Temas hardly used to come to site. So I was there on the site, and while just going up, Mr. Om Prakash asked me that, "Oh, Hafiz, what would you like to do? What kind of a cladding would you like to do on these columns?" So I said, "Mr. Om Prakash, I think we should have black granite on those columns." And he says, "Okay, fine." I went up to check the slab. By the time Temas came to the site, and Mr. Om Prakash ji asked him also. So Temas said, "Grey granite." So now when I came down, Mr. Om Prakash ji is telling me that, "Hafiz, you said black, Mr. Kharegat has said grey." So I said, "That's fine. Whatever you like, you choose. I'm okay. But to me, it doesn't make much of a difference." So Mr. Om Prakash ji said, "No, I go by your wish." Now that my cousin did not like. He said, "I want you to change anyway." That was the point on which he asked me that henceforth I won't go to site or something like that. And I said, "No, I want to go to site. I want to." And on that basis, I said, "Okay, I will separate and I will start my own practice." Now, mind you, at that time, I had only about some 30,000 in my bank account. And I thought that, with 30,000, I'll buy an office, I'll do this, I'll do that, and all that. And when I started looking for an office, uh, in 30,000, I was not even getting a room underneath the staircase. So I was very, very disturbed. Though I had taken from Temas, I had said that, okay, in 6 months, I will square up all the jobs. I will settle all the jobs, because I used to do a lot of jobs on my own. And I used to do a lot of interior on my own. Whatever I was earning on interior, I used to give him 50%. And whatever the office was earning in architecture, I was getting 10%, or I think 5%, I don't remember. So that was so I was very, very worried that where will I get an office? Where will I get an office? And luckily, one day when I was working, one guy comes and taps on back of my shoulder and say, "Hey, you want an office?" I said, "Yeah." So he gets me to this premises. Now, this is our office now. It has got 3 windows down below. Okay, the staircase going up. At that time, I had taken only 2 windows, and the whole building was a dilapidated building. It was in court receiver. There were weeds growing everywhere. Nobody else was occupying. And that guy who asked me that I needed an office, Mr. Mohan Sarda, now, poor fellow, may his soul rest in peace, and when he brought me to this office, I said, "Hey, my God." He says, "Jitna lena ka utna le lo." So I said, "नहीं, मेरे को तो खाली इतना window बहुत हो गया." And I said, "I need it." I said, "Well, who is the owner? Who is the owner?" So he says, I was already doing a building for him along with Mr. Mundra. He was a partner with Mr. Mundra. No, Mr. Om Prakash ji. So he says, "Call him up and tell him that you want this." So I called him up in Calcutta, and I got these 2 windows. And I said, "I need it only for 1 year. By that time, I will buy some other office and all that." I was very confident. But 1 year went off like a jiffy. And I realized suddenly, oh my God, 1 year is over. So I went and told him, "Mr. Mundra, please." So he says, "Keep on using it. But the day I tell you to vacate, you vacate." So I asked him, "Sir, when you ask me to vacate, you'll want to sell it. So give me the first option." So after some 4-5 years, he came and he says, "I want to sell." When without asking him the price, I said, "Bought it." Then I asked him, "What is the price?" He says 5 lakhs. I had only 1 lakh in my bank account. He gave me time. I paid it, and now we are in these 3 buildings. Though it is written that now 3 buildings with 600 people. Now we are more than 700, and God knows how many and what it is. And today also we are buying premises in this. And what I'm saying, that this place has been nice to me, lucky. And but one day, one guy told me, when I said it's a lucky office, so he says, the harder you work, luckier it gets. So that's also another line that all the students have to remember. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Okay. Now, when I started my office, now most of you kids may not be understanding also that there was something like a landline phone. Okay. When we set up the office, or when I set it up, I had to have, first of all, the premises, which I got. Okay, from Mr. Munra. Then I had to get phone connection. And there were touts who will say, oh, I'll get you phone, because to get a phone in those days, it will take you 3 years, 4 years, God knows what, or, whenever you'll get it after 3 or 4 years also. So you have to catch some touts and give them money, and they will say that, oh, this phone is your phone and this is your number. So he gave me the number. He gave me the phone, and he says, "Abhi aaj chalu hoega, kal chalu hoega." Now, I started my practice. So, and at that time, I had only about 2 or 3 clients. So what I would do, every hour or every second hour, I will go down to the Irani restaurant, which was there next to our building. And I'll call up all those 3 guys and say, were you trying to call me up? Were you trying to call me? He said, yeah, your phone is, because my phone is not working. Okay. So that's how I kept on doing it for a couple of months. And kept in touch with all my clients. And then one fine day, the phone rang. Okay, fine, phone rang. Okay, but then came the rainy season, and the building was not maintained for so many years and years and years. And in rainy season, the whole office would be leaking with water coming from all the sides. So mind you, in those 2 windows, I had put up a tarpaulin from one side to the other side. And by that time, I started my practice with 2 people, but in just a matter of months, we had about 5, 6, 7, or 8 people. And finally, in that 2 windows, we were 20 people sitting, tarpaulin leaking. And I remember some of the boys who were working with me at that time, Vishnu Kunjar or somebody, now he's, I think, in Aurangabad. Deepak Mehta, who's got a flourishing practice, and then I don't remember other names. Okay, so this is how we started. Okay, fine. Then one fine day, the side where the toilet was there, the whole site collapses, and there is no toilet. And the staircase, if you come to my office, when you come up the staircase, you could see the road, nothing was there. And for nearly 2 years, we used to go to a public toilet, all my boys. I think Seema Puri also was working with me at that time. Sanjay Puri was there. Then we all used to go to the public toilet. No, sorry, but that is how life started. And then we made one toilet, then we repaired the building. So this is how we started. Okay. Now, after starting, and as luck would have it, we had a toilet now. It's not leaking. And I started practicing. Okay. Now, from the beginning, I in the architectural college, I was a very good student. I stood first class first all throughout my 7 years, except 1 year I stood first, but I was second class. And mind you, just because of that, the Tatas were not giving me the scholarship. But then finally, when they realized that, I stood first class first in all the other years, I got the scholarship. Okay. So I used to do everything in a particular way. And why? I had one understanding. And now I would say that these are the dictates that I would like each and every architectural student or a budding architect to realize and have it with him. So the first dictate is listen to your client and what he wants. This is a very, very important dictate. And mind you, though I'm telling you, and though practicing it also for so many years and years and years, once in a while, when I have also gone very confident, and I know that what I'm doing is right, but did not listen to the client has given me a kick on my backside and thrown me out. So please listen to your client. The other reason is, why am I saying listen to your client? You may be having, say, 10 jobs, 20 jobs, 100 or 1,000 jobs, okay? The client has got one job or two jobs. He is thinking about that job night and day. He has taken money on loan. He has taken this, that, that. So what he's thinking and what he's telling you is very, very important. Okay. But not only that, that is one way. There'll be another, more difficult clients also you will get. This is a client which I'm sure everyone will recognize. This is Osho, Bhagwan Rajneesh. Now, one fine day, two guys entered my office. Now, what I'm trying to show you that when I'm saying listen to the client, how each time a client has come, what he has said, and how I have listened to it, how I was not wanting to listen to it, and finally, how I succeeded. I want you to get that thing, it's virtually like a cooked food which I'm giving you. So when these two guys came, they said, oh, Osho has selected you and Osho would like you to design his ashram. So I was very glad. I said, wow, this, that, that. And as soon as they left, I started designing it. There's that, I did something. And they came the next week and they said, oh, wow, fantastic, this, that, that. And they said, they'll come and they'll take it and show it to Osho. So I get a call next day. Osho says that it's very nice, but this is not what he wants. So then I said, but let me meet him. Let me talk to him, what he wants, what he doesn't want. He should give me a brief. They said, no, Osho doesn't meet anybody. So I said, then how the hell, I will design his building if he has to give me requirements to tell me what he wants, how. No, Osho doesn't. I could then ask him to give me a brief. So they came after a week and they brought a very large, architectural book. And in that architectural book, there was a small photograph of an American barn house taken at the time of sunset. And there was a yellow page on which it was written, black, black on black, blue tinted windows. And they came and said, Osho has said, look at this photograph, read this, meditate, and then design the building. So I said, here is a crazy man. How the hell? So I just said, I did not say that crazy man. I said it in my own mind. I closed the book and just kept it next to it. And I said, oh, I have to kiss goodbye to this job. But I never said anything. One day I was working very, very late. I remember it was about 3 o'clock or so. I'd entered a competition for GIC building at Kaffaret. No, at here's Nariman Point. And at that time, we never used to get any mount boards or anything. So we used to stick all our drawings on 4 mm ply. And my carpenters would paint, polish it black, and then we'll cut paper and stick it. And that's how we used to make our presentation drawings. So I'd finished the whole work and I'd gone to sleep on my chair. And I suddenly hear one of my boys uh, cutting with a cutter on that board, and crack, crack, crack noise. And I get up and I'm seeing on that blackboard with that cutting, there are lines on black with lines. And suddenly I remembered that photograph. I remembered those lines that I had read. And I said, black on black. I said, why does he want black on black? Michael, what is this? So I said to myself, black embodies all color. If you take all colors, take all 50, 60, 70, 100 colors, mix all of them, and you'll finally get black. So I said, what? Then I said, why, what is this barn house? I said, it's not the barn house. He wants pyramids. Because pyramids is one thing. During the time of Second World War also, once all the soldiers would shave, they will put the blade under a pyramid so it gets preserved, the sharpness gets preserved. The Egyptians kept it, you put an apple under a pyramid kind of a container, the apple will stay for a longer time. So now this is what I had learned in history, that. So I said, he wants pyramids. All right, very good. And I said, what is this blue tinted window? So then I made up a story of my own. And I said, maybe when you get God's realization, you see blue light. At 3 o'clock, I was charged and I got some black paper, cut it black, made pyramids, made a plan, this, that, and by 7:30, the design was ready. That time, there were no flights, nothing to Pune. I put my guy in a cab. He went. At 3:30, I get a call from Jayesh, who was the head of Osho Ashram at that time. And he says, Hafeez, Osho loves you. Osho wants to meet you. Now, the guy who said that he doesn't meet anybody, he doesn't talk to anybody, he says he loves you, he wants to meet you. Now, for some reason or the other, I was scared of going and meeting him because I knew that if I go and meet him, I'll join the ashram and that I'll be kissing goodbye to my architectural profession. So he sent me his whole book, some very thick book with all. At that time, I was very, very fond of good watches. Today also, I'm fond of good watches, but that time, so he sent me and said that select any watch. He used to do like that. Select any watch, it's yours. Come and meet me. And I said, no, I'm not going. But mind you, then I wanted to go. He was not well. Then he called me again. I had to go somewhere and I never met him. But every time during the course of the construction, he will send me small messages on his yellow pages. And I used to read it and I used to and throw it in the dustbin, but I used to follow. And I think I learned quite a lot from him. And it was a real pleasure working for him. But mind you, after he died, and one day I went for his lecture, I tell you, there was nothing more soothing than hearing his lecture. And I had gone with a very, very close. And I used to hear his lecture, so nice. And I said, oh, I'll go every week. But I never went anytime again. So that's my, okay. Now, there are types and types and types and types. Merely popular, yeah. There are types and types and types of people. What, like, say, what Osho liked, somebody else may not like it. Some people, a guy who's coming from Lucknow would want his building in a different way. Fellow who comes from Rajasthan will want it in a different way. A person from Gujarat and person from Madras, each and everyone will want their things in a different way. And this is what I say, that for people with different tastes, for people with different beliefs, for people with different lifestyle, you can't give one solution to everyone. You have to be good enough, smart enough to give different solutions to different people. Now, mind you, a lot of my architects friends say that, oh, as an architect, you are not supposed to do that. You should tell them this is what I want. I said, no. It is the same thing, what I feel, if you are inviting people to your house, if somebody is a vegetarian and you give him beef steak, what will happen? So, you have to, it's like when you go to a restaurant, somebody likes this, somebody likes that, and that is how you have to be. And the same thing is with buildings, what he wants. Now, over here, there are two buildings done at the same time. One on the left side is your ITC at Lower Parel, and the other is Hyatt at the airport. Both the buildings done simultaneously in my office. And mind you, in my office, it's not like some another office that I just give a job to an X person. I say, okay, you got this job, you do it and show it to me. No, I am part and parcel of that job. Yes, to what extent I am part and parcel is the amount that person is capable. But I am part of it. What I'm trying to say, the ITC people wanted the building to be her, and he said that, oh, I want architecture of Mumbai. And what he said, architecture of Mumbai, he said High Court. So how to represent that? So we did this. He loved it. At the same time, we are doing another hotel also for him at next to this. That is the ITC Grand Maratha. But that we did it along with another architect. But this one, we did it on our own. And completely contemporary for Hyatt, and that completely traditional. So what I'm saying, people want what they want, you should be able to give. But in the right manner. You should not make a hash out of it and say, oh, the client wanted it, so I did it. No, it has to be, see the courtyard of Hyatt, see the courtyard of ITC. Both are most appropriate. See the canopy of this and see the canopy of the other job. Most appropriate, okay? So now, yeah, okay. Purpose. Now, whenever you do anything, there should be a purpose of doing things. And I have always seen that whatever you do, you should try and satisfy some reason. So when we started doing, I started my practice in Mumbai. The most important thing, what was happening in Mumbai, everybody wants his building overnight. Everybody, so those old ways of construction were not there. And people would do faster construction, and each and every building will leak. So what was the way that you could solve that? I was doing a job for Hiranandanis. At that time, the first job of mine with Hiranandanis was the beach classing. I started using double walls. Now, what exactly is a double wall? The first time I did it, everybody was shocked, and I showed them that a double wall is like a raincoat. Now, mind you, every builder, whenever you suggest anything, you have to think about one thing, that it has to be financially possible. Your client should not go in a loss, but at the same time, he should gain something. He should gain something financially, and also he should gain something, as far as his building also is concerned. And finally, he should be able to give something more to the guy who has bought it. So what we did, the double wall concept was that, you can put it. Now, the FSI is from the inside wall, and everybody used to make 9 inches walls, 9 inches brick walls, which they used to leak. So what I said, instead of 9 inches, make it 6 inches, so that 3 inches you get in your carpet area. If you want, you can make the wall inside, and 3 inches you can gain in your FSI, and make another 4 inches wall which is outside, which becomes like a raincoat or the old concept of a cavity wall. Now with this, the whole architectural quality of your building changes. Previously, we used to just have those lousy chhajjas sticking out, okay? And we used to, all the buildings were looking very, very bad. With this, chhajja would only protect your window, but it won't protect the whole building. With a double wall, you'll be protecting the whole building. So all my buildings we did with double wall, none of them would leak. People were very, very happy. And we came up with a new architectural vocabulary. Okay. And with that, we did Powai. The whole of Powai was designed in that manner. Mind you, when we designed Powai, we started doing classical buildings. Now, that also was for a reason. We did classical buildings because I had already done this Beach Classic, and they gave me this one, Lake Castle building, which I did for them. And Surendra and Niranjan came and said, and specifically Surendra came and told me that, hey, I'm giving you another sector, but I'm not going to make a very expensive building like Lake Castle. Now, I'm not going into the whole story of why I did Lake Castle and how I did it and fought for. Otherwise, we'll get into a very long. So when we started doing the next sector, I showed him several other different types of, and he says, I don't want modern architecture. It's very expensive, a lot of glass, a lot of this, that. We went through a lot of postmodern, art deco, and everything. He kept on saying, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. One fine day, he was in the office, and I said, hey, Surendra, how about making palaces for poor people? He said, what do you mean by that? Now, see, architecture is one thing. Talking is another thing. Talking, convincing, acting, all of this, though nobody teaches you in architectural college, it's very, very important that you better learn it. So, when I told Surendra, palaces for poor people, he said, what do you mean by palace? I said, classical buildings. He said, hey, you're mad, man. Have you ever seen classical, bungalows are there, ground and 1, 2. Have you ever seen a 20-story building, classical? So I said, yeah, we'll make it. There are classical buildings like that, in New York, in in Chicago. He said, come on, we started doing it. And mind you, the whole of Hiranandani Gardens, we did it in classical style. And not only that, we created large gardens, we created a botanical garden. And mind you, today, so many movies are shot over here. The whole place has got its own ambience, and it has got its sense of place. It's like when you go to, say, Turkey, or when you go to some, a place in Europe. The buildings are not so great, but it has got that one kind of a style. It has got that one kind of a color that makes you so feel comfortable. It has got that mahal, that. And I have seen people living here. They say that, I'll quote an example. When I started doing work for Godrej, at that time, Anupam, Anuba. He was the head of architecture, and he said, "Hey, Hafiz, I don't want your that crazy classical style building." I said, "No, if you don't like it, I won't give it to you." But I showed him a contemporary building, and he liked it. And then finally, I asked him, "Hey, Anuba, where do you stay?" He says, "Yeah, I stay at Harirandani." I said, "Damn it! You said you don't like classical, and why do you stay at Harirandani?" He says, "No, no, no. I love that place. I love that place." So it's like that. You may hate it, but you'll love it. Okay. So okay. Now, and these are all some of the buildings. We started naming streets. We created artwork at the junctions. And today also, I would say that this is a place which is, I think, something to learn and something to remember. Okay. And we made the first sewage treatment plant in Powai. And not only that, whatever the treated water, we used to use it for gardening, and we made a lake. People used to come in the evening to, boat over here. They would be doing boating, and but the whole of Hiranandani Gardens, we virtually were like a lab. We started using copper pipes, tinted glass, cast iron gates. What I'm trying to say is that, you have to be innovative and use the right things and the right way. Okay. Second, you'll come with clients and asking the most absurd demands. And when I'm saying most absurd demands, really the most absurd demand. And one of that is a very good client of mine and a friend, Mr. Kirti Kedia. One day, when he came to me at this time, he had just started wearing his long pants because I used to work for his, uncle, and I used to see him in short pants. So one day he came, and he's telling me, "Hey, Hafiz, I bought this plot." And at that time, there was a land ceiling restriction. The land ceiling restriction was that every flat had to be only 80 square meters. Now, this guy, being a Marwadi guy, very, very good with calculations, very sharp, businessman, fine, very good. And I, Babaji, he's telling me, "Hey, Hafiz, देखा मेरे को रूम का साइज ये चाहिए, मेरे को बेडरूम ये चाहिए, मेरे को लिविंग रूम 20 by 20 चाहिए, बेडरूम." I just wanted to do the work, and I said, देगा कीर्ति देगा. Then before he leaves, and then he's telling me he had come around about some 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon, and he said, "Hey, Hafiz, कल मैं आता हूँ, मेरे को कल प्लान दिखाओ." Now this is one another thing, speed. First, most absurd demand. So then I looked at I started drawing. I says 10 by 10 by some 14 or 10 by something, is the bedroom. 20 by 20 is the living room. So I said, "अरे कीर्ति, ये इसका ही एरिया इतना हो जाता है, टॉयलेट किधर, पैसेज किधर, ये सब." तो ही इज टेलिंग मी, "अरे राजा, दिमाग लगाना, हो जाएगा तेरे, तू करेगा." मैं कहा, "कीर्ति, हाउ कैन आई बीट अरिथमेटिक?" नहीं नहीं राजा, दिमाग लगा. Now I am saying, in my mind, a bloody crazy bugger, what the hell, how will I defeat, arithmetic? I said, chalo. So then I drew 10 by 14. 140 hota hai. 20 by 20. Okay. So what I did, I made, you see the black one, I made 10 by 14. The room is 10 by 14. You take out that black one. You take out the black one. The areas come down. I gave him 10 by 14. That's how the whole lake castle, the room sizes are big, but the area is less. And mind you, this thing was such a success. He started selling it ekdam fatafat. Okay. And so this is absurd demands. Okay. And apply your mind, you'll be able to cater to the most absurd demand. Now, I started, in my initial days, I used to do a lot of work in Pune. Now, every job that I was doing, each and every job was, virtually 99%, all jobs were all residential. Each and every new client will come and it says, कुछ नया दो, कुछ अच्छा दो, कुछ ज्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल दो. Now, every time, there is only living room, bedroom, hall, and kitchen. And everybody will say, the room, one bedroom should be 850, or two bedrooms should be 850, one bedroom, three bedrooms should be 1,000. He'll not give me anything more or less. And every room had to have a window, and that bylaw will say I must have 80% opening, this, that. So what, kya naya, kya acha, kya profitable, from that same thing, it's like dal and chawal. I can make dal, a little bit different, chawal little bit different, but I can't transform it to a completely a different thing. I can't make mutton steak out of dal and chawal. Okay, but I had to do it. So now these are all jobs of mine, virtually in Pune, Bombay, same residential, some building like that, some building like that, and each and every with a different look and a different form. And every client was happy, every client was selling fatafat, and and I never used to be bothered. They'll be printing brochures, they'll be printing this, that, and marketing it. And that is how her life started. Dictate number 3, give. Give and give. When I say give, in each and every way, you have to give. So the first thing that I feel, that if I have to make myself known, my talent. Today also when a client comes and he says, I want to do this, I want to do that. A lot of people say that, oh, come next week and we'll show you the drawing. I start giving ideas across the table and I say, oh, how shall we do like this? Shall we do like this? Shall we do like this? A lot of people say you should not give out ideas, but that is the way you have to give ideas. You have to project yourself and say that this is what you can do it and you can make your building in a nice manner. So this, when I had gone to DLF Center the first time, and I met Mr. Rajiv Singh. The building was in the basement, and he asked me, I was just sitting under a tree, and he asked me, oh, what would you do? So I gave him ideas. Oh, you could do this, you could do that, you could do that. And he liked the idea. He took me to his father, and they asked me to give a design. And that's how, I got the DLF center job. And finally, after that, we did lots and lots of work with, DLF. Similarly, one day I was in a hotel. I saw Mr. Narayan Murthy. I went and met him. And he says, okay, show me some ideas. And I did a job for him. I mean, uh, an SDB center. They used to do all SDBs, square boxes. And I said that, my thing is, this is like a dew drop. It's like, in the morning, and, anybody comes here, he will see this kind of a building, he'll get inspired and he'll start thinking. And from that, the dewdrop became this, and we did the first job. Then we did several jobs for Mr. Narayan Murthy and Infosys, and it had been a great, great, working with Infosys. Okay, uh, I now this is another. I'd done lots of campuses for Infosys, and one day Mr. Narayan Murthy wanted me to design a global educational center, and next to that, we did an SDB 8, and he would give me the job, and the presentation would be in 2 or 3 days, and my best time to design, I always felt, were in the flight. I would be doing my sketch on the newspaper in the flight, which is the Share Bazaar Ka newspaper, where I can draw with my felt pen. So this is how I draw the building, and next day I come and give it to my associate, and I said, this is how I want it. You will draw it, and that's how we get going. We did this building, and just next to this building, he wanted us to design a global educational center. We did this. And suddenly, Mr. Murthy was an ardent supporter of contemporary architecture. But when I did this, and this was a very nice concept, everything, he says, Hafeez, I like it, but I want my global educational center. He says, oh, have you been to Rome? You must have seen all the great buildings of big universities. How I want Roman architecture. I want Roman architecture. Roman architecture. So I said, yes, sir, yes, sir. Classical. And he says, Roman. I said, fine. And he insisted that I must go to Rome and see the buildings and all that. So just across about, I would say that 200 meters away from this, that was a building which is just completed on top, SDB 8. And we did this building for Mr. Narayan Murthy. What I'm trying to say, he wanted contemporary building, we gave him contemporary building. When he wanted a classical, we gave him classical. And that's, I feel, as an architect, you should be able to do it. And when you do it in the right way and do it in the best way. Okay. And this is how the building looks from inside. Mrs. Gandhi had come to inaugurate it. And mind you, when she came, or before she came, or anything, nobody should shake hands. Shook hands with us. She sat and had lunch with us, and she was supposed to leave in about 45 minutes. She was with us for more than some 3 or 4 hours. And when she was leaving, she said that, oh, I don't feel like leaving this place. And that is how, and that's me with, and after that, we did because of that building. Somebody from Kuwait came and saw it, and we made this university in Iraq, Dahok. Okay. Now, I always had a great. I still, and I'm passionate about housing for affordable housing for each and every Indian. And because of that, we made a study. I won't go into the whole story of how I did the study. And I had gone to Mr. Bala Sahib in those days, and I showed him that this is how you can give free housing to all the slum and eradicate all the housing shortage. And mind you, we did this. Not many people in India have appreciated, but the New York Times had written a 2-page article on all of this and said the man who draws India. But one thing I would like to you to remember, when we were doing this scheme, this was the first slum rehabilitation scheme which had started in Mumbai. And at that time, uh, I won't forget this story ever, or this incident ever. Two ladies came and they took us to the Ganpatiji Mandir. And one of the guys asking me, "Do you know what they are doing?" So I said, "No." So he says, "They are going to take your RT." So I said, "बिल्कुल लेने दो." तो he says, "नहीं, हमारी औरत लोग ऐसा सबकी आरती नहीं लेती है, खाली खुदा की लेती है और अपना पति की लेती है." So then I asked, कि बाबा मेरी क्यों लेती है? तो one of the ladies said that, "You know what you have done to us today? We can't go to toilet after sunrise, and we can't go to toilet before sunset, because that time there were no those public toilets and all of that. People used to just go in the corners and relieve themselves." And I was wondering, and I was remembering my office toilet breaking down and how I used to feel, and I said, "My God." So this is about the slum redevelopment. Today also we are doing a lot of social housing. We just completed more than something like around about 1 lakh houses in New Bombay. We are doing another thousands and thousands of houses in Thana and everywhere. Okay. We always have believed that land is a precious commodity and you cannot waste it. So maximum use of land. And I have been always saying that Mumbai should, I'm talking about since last 20-25 years, I have been saying that we should increase the FSI, we should increase the FSI. And at that time, I remember once Mr. Kshatriya, when he was a housing secretary, he had called for a meeting. Everybody was there. I was one of the only guys, non-governmental, and they all started saying, Mr. Kshatriya, make it 2, make it 3, like that. And I said, make it 8 to meet with the demand of housing in our city. Mind you, it has taken the government more than nearly 15 years to come to basic FSI of 4, and but still things are different. So we are talking about what's the time? How much time you've gone? Much more.
There's just another one question.
Okay. So I like to go to some other dictate. The other dictates are speed, because since we are very, very short of time, the other dictates are speed and when you're talking about speed, you have to take care of money, constructability, economy, okay? And for that also, how we have done certain jobs. We did the ICICI Bank in Hyderabad, and how speed has helped it. Okay, the sixth dictate is giving options. Options, and options. You go and show, one kind of an alternate to a person, and he will say, hey, come on, I don't like it. I don't like it. A lot of architects don't want to give options. You should be ready to give options. And one job, and I always say that when you want to buy a sari, how a sari salesman convinces all the ladies. He wears a sari, he does this, banji, pink, banji, yellow, green, this, that, and he finally convinces the lady. And I think that's the way we architects should be. So I also call architect Hafeez Contractors sari and dress material shop. Okay, that's the spirit. It's not a shop, but that's the spirit. So the same way, when I was doing, there was a competition for Airtel. Again, a Marwadi guy. And I never knew him at all. And I said, I'll take one kind of a design. How the hell he knows that I'm capable of doing another kind of a design? So when I went to, and I knew that there are 3 brothers or 4 brothers, each one will have his own opinion, this, that, that. So I went for presentation because I had lost a lot of jobs before. I used to do one design, and in love with the design. And when I show it to him, and he'll say, oh, I don't want such a grand building. I want a very economical building. When I have gone with an economical building, he said, no, I want a grand building. And they'll never say that in there when they're asking her to make a design. So what I did, when I went to presentation to Airtel, I took 30 alternates. I took 30 alternates with plans, elevations, and minor perspectives. And I told him, you like this? I can give you this. You like this? I can give you this. A building with an atrium, building, with a very standard building, economical building, looking like your logo, looking this, that. And finally, first time they came, about some 8-10 guys came to see it. Second time, 3 guys came to see it. Finally, 1 guy. And finally, they selected the one just down below. And that also, when the construction started, they changed it. And final building is this. So change. You have to be ready for the change, and you have to be ready for options. Okay, I think, it's a lot of time has gone. I'm sorry I've gone beyond all the time limit. So shall we end it over here, or what shall we do?
No, sir. We are all learning a lot from your presentation. So you can carry on. If you have some other commitment, then it's up to you. But we would like to listen to the other dictates as well.
We'll keep some other time.
Yeah, sure, sir.
We
And
have
maybe
to.
in person, we would love to host you on campus in person once the students are back in August. So
Okay. So we'll have a longer session
Yes.
at that time.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
madam?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Hina, you can just conclude.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you very much for inviting me. And next time we'll keep it for something like 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Right, sir.
And today I have to go somewhere else for some site visits. So please excuse me.
Yes, sir. So it was a great learning experience for all of us. Manjusha madam, please extend a vote of thanks on behalf of all of us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So a very good afternoon to one and all. And we all were fortunate enough to listen to Hafeez sir, our most beloved and respected invited guest for today in the Creative Pursuits, hosted by Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Symbiosis School of Architecture, Urban Development and Planning, QA Pune. So, sir, first of all, we would like to extend our thanks, as Gauri ma'am has already extended her thanks, but we would, on behalf of the school director ma'am, Honorable Pro Chancellor ma'am, we thank you enough for being there with us and show our students the laurels, what and the journey, what you have gone through in bringing those laurels here in the industry. A few dictates you have been discussing, and dear students who are the attendees, you might have taken a note of all these mandates which you should follow in your profession as well as in your career. So I thank you formally, sir, for being there. I thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening to you, for sharing with us your insights and your experiences for so long without getting tired. Thank you so much, sir. Further, I would like to thank Honorable Pro Chancellor Dr. Swati Mujumdar ma'am, Director ma'am, Dr. Gauri Shurkar for giving us the opportunity to host and hear a master on this forum of Creative Pursuits. I thank our team of Creative Pursuits and the supporting staff and students who helped to host the event so successfully. I thank Hinashri to host. I thank Shripada madam for conducting this session. Thank you all the students for attending, and we expect that you will take the learnings and implement them in your curriculum as well as in your profession. Last but not the least, I thank the technical team for all the support. Thank you one and all once again. So good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Hoping to see you soon on campus. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. And I would like to thank, my friend Shashams, and my colleague who helped me put up all of this. So thank him also. That's Shasham,
Thank you so much to your team also.
Thank you. Thanks a lot,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Saksham. Thanks a lot.
All the best. Bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you and have a great day, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. ठीक है? Now we have to call up this guy, no?
Yes.
So it was a great show, all of us, and I'm sure all the students must have picked up the recipe for success from none other than Padmabhushan architect Hafeez Contractor. And see you soon again in the next episode of Creative Pursuits, season 2. The next will be the 3rd episode, and see you soon. Bye and take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.